What's going on, music producers? It's Curtis King of CurtisKingBeats.com, and we are purposely this week doing a podcast version of Curtspiration. You may be asking, well, why is that, Curtis? I like when I see my Curtis King on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's because I'm actually transitioning to actually making this a full-blown podcast, and I'm going to need all the practice that I can get. I'm starting to round up the equipment, but today, what I want to address specifically is the music producers. This is a state of emergency, and let me tell you why. Music producers, I know some of you may see the title, and the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, he's at that clickbait again. And I promise you, what I am telling you today is not of clickbait nature, but is of an inkling or even an instinct that I'm feeling right now. There was a few things over the last few months that should have tipped me off to this, and I'm actually a little bit disappointed in myself for not knowing earlier or for not seeing the signs. But it seems to me that there is a direct attack on online music producers. I didn't see it before. I thought that the efforts that were going to be from folks that were used to making a lot of money as music producers in the music industry. I thought that their push was going to be not of an aggressive nature, but I thought that their push would just be very subtle, taking jabs. But I think what they're realizing is that the pushback is strong. The pushback is strong from music producers all over the world. Because here's the thing, music producers are quickly realizing that this is a very small industry that, it's funny, I was watching the All-Star game this last weekend, and it dawned on me, like, these are the best 24 players from a league of hundreds. These are the best 24 players that they have compiled, and there's only 24 players that can make it. Now, what does that say about the other players, the ones that are averaging great scores and the ones that are just as much deserving to be there as anybody else who weren't voted in by the fans? What does that mean for them? Does that mean that they're less talented? Does that mean that they're not making a living? Not at all. So you got to ask the question, as music producers from all over the world with our own varying styles, our own regions of influence, and just like anything else within the music industry, things happen in trends. And you may be living in an area right now where the pendulum is not swung in your direction in terms of what music is popular right now, but it may swing in your direction or it may not. Now, with those odds, you got to ask yourself, is this the type of game that I want to play? And I think many producers have asked this question, and they're starting to realize that although it's a great pursuit, although there's many producers out here that want to have the fame, they want to have the credits, there's many more producers that are saying, look, I just want to pay my bills. I just want to be able to take care of my family. I just want to be able to make a decent living off of this, even if it's just minimum wage. And I know I can do this through selling my beats online. And the thing that really tipped me off recently was when it was somebody on Twitter that shared with me a video that somebody put up. And, it's funny, when there's an attack going on a particular industry, there are people who are used sort of as puppets and pawns, and they have no idea they think they're just kind of doing their own job and that they're pushing forward their own agenda, but they have no idea how much they're contributing to that. There is an engineer. I'm not going to name this engineer because this is not about him. This is bigger than him. But there's an engineer that released a video this last week that basically shows rappers how to remove tags from beats. Yes, producer tags. He shows you how to remove those, by applying cheap tricks like echoes, and he basically defends this by saying this is what he does for his clients. But as I read through the comments, and of course there was pissed off producers, there were rappers that were happy that somebody finally showed them how to get past producer tags. And if you don't know what producer tags, obviously those are the things that we use to watermark and protect our beats, right? There's no illegal nature of it. There's no cocky nature to it. It really is the way that we protect our beats. So when I saw this, I looked at it, and before I could get angry at it, because, no matter what, and it seems like this individual has great quality camera, they seem to have a bit of an audience. The video, I think at the time, had about 2,000 views. And, I don't look at these things and say, oh my God, it's going to be the death of something. No, but it does tip me off to where's the bigger agenda and where's this energy pushing from? And it seems to me that there is just this negative connotation with music producers that operate online. Instead of embracing us as the entrepreneurs that we are, instead of embracing us as the young businessmen and businesswomen, instead of embracing us as forward thinkers, we're being put out there to be amateurs. We're being put out there to be folks that are cheapening the craft, cheapening the entire industry that is music production. When people make these bold statements, I often laugh because I think back to when someone once told me, I made a Sade remix, okay? And the song was called Stronger Than Pride. It sampled one of her very popular songs of the same title, actually. And the person said, this song is so terrible. And that didn't bother me as much as the other part of it was, you're ruining her legacy. As if the work that she put in, follow me now, the work that Sade put in is capable of being torn apart by one producer / rapper who samples her music and decides to share it amongst 50,000 people. So let's ignore the millions and millions and millions upon millions of sales, record sales, the millions and millions upon video views and viewers and subscribers who will never hear of a Curtis King. Let's ignore her and say that you're ruining the legacy. And I think that when people speak like this, they think they're speaking from a diehard standpoint or a big fan standpoint. And I think that there's a lot of music producers who speak from that same standpoint. I'm a diehard hip hop fan. I'm a diehard music producer. I've been here since the industry was the way that it was when you had to grind really hard. They talk from the perspective of a diehard, not realizing that this obsessive nature, this oh my God, what is the term for it? The purist, oh my God, the purest nature of it is contradictory at its very core, because there is not one producer who has the power. I don't care if, let's think of somebody. I don't care if Metro Boomin decided, hey, I'm going to put up my beats on Airbit tomorrow, right? I'm going to put 50 of my beats up and I'm going to do buy one, get 15 free. Okay, I highly doubt that people will say the industry is ruined, the mainstream industry is ruined, and now what's going to happen is that everybody's going to have access to these beats, and therefore his work is now cheapened. I think the very idea of that is ridiculous, because more than likely, I can tell by my peers. My peers will look at that and say, oh man, Metro Boomin's after the money bag, man. There must be a bigger play in this. This is what the perception of it is. But when you don't attach fame to someone's name, automatically you want to attach an amateur status. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So producers, I'm here to tell you, we haven't seen the worst of it. There's going to be days ahead of us where there's going to be people who just simply don't agree with this way of doing business. They don't care that this business helps you support your family. They don't care that this business helps you support your way through college. They're on your head, and they want you to stop. They want you to stop what you're doing, stop making your own money, and conform to what they have had to conform to for years. You got to look at it from their perspective. I try to put their shoes on. If I was in an industry where I had to literally eat shit, eat it over and over and over again from people that I felt like weren't even worthy of my production, if I had to eat shit on a regular basis from people that I don't even like their music or respected, but because of quote unquote, and I'm doing the finger quotes, industry politics, I had to do it. This young 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old, hell, even me at 33, look at me as a threat to their well-being. So I'm telling you right now, what's getting ready to happen, there's getting ready to be an onslaught. And when I saw that video, it just kind of tipped me off to, oh, this is what it's going to be. There's going to be a very aggressive nature, a very aggressive propaganda. You know, I started getting the inkling once I saw Jermaine Dupri's interview with Breakfast Club. And then I saw somebody cut down. Because when I listen back to the full interview, I'm going to give him credit. When I listen to the full interview, what he's saying is not bad, although it's misinformed. It's not as much bad as it is misinformed. There were some things that were just bad all overall, but it's more misinformed than anything else. What I saw when I started seeing the people that were chopping up their favorite pieces of the interview and then creating these propaganda memes and video memes, what I saw was that there is an agenda out right now. These people don't want to see you, and I hate to sound like Khaled right now, but they don't want to see you make your money. So understand that there's going to be a lot of negative things being said. The reason why it doesn't faze me is because I've seen it before, and this thing happens in waves like everything else. Just like when folks were wearing braids at one time and then that became the main thing, or when folks were wearing and1 cutoff sleeves and and1 shoes and everybody was in the street ball and that became the wave, or when everybody wanted to be a freestyle rapper because 8 Mile inspired people to get their freestyles off of them chests. But things happen in cycles. But I want you to be prepared, young producers, all ages, online music producers, be ready. There's an onslaught coming. And I don't say that to scare you. I don't say that to, spread any propaganda of my own. I say that to say, keep your antennas up. This propaganda is also being launched by some of these media publications. Oh, they're all over. The same media publications that didn't care whether or not you got your production credits. You think all of a sudden they just care about your needs and your problems and your pains? Or do they see the traffic that mentioning producers brings? Because some of us are so desperate for one of these major publications to shine some light down on our stories and our credits, we're willing to accept anytime somebody just seems like they're showing a little bit of interest. Right now, we look like the ugly kid. We look like the kid that wasn't getting no play from the pretty girl, right? And we're talking about pretty girl in the sense of just appearances. And a lot of these things that are starting to pop up, just be careful, because the onslaught is coming. There are producers, veteran producers, who are starting to see that their money dynamic is going to change because of what you're doing, because of what we're doing. I'm included in that. So be on the lookout. This is my message for your Curtspiration Monday podcast version. Once again, it's another Curtspiration doodle. If you need some more of this juice, please subscribe to the channel below. Be a part of the notification gang. For those of you that have any suggestions for future Curtspirations or things that we should look out for, go to CurtisKingBeats.com/Curtspiration. Coming back to the topic at hand, producers, I'm never here to spread any propaganda. I'm always here to warn you. Sometimes it's a big bro. Sometimes it's just somebody that keeps their ear to the trends and sees things from a snow globe point of view. It's important that we share information with each other and we let each other know that we have each other's back. All the online music producers that are watching these videos, I got your back. We got each other's back. I never believe in this being a monarchy with one king or one ruler. Be wary of anybody out here that tries to create something like that. This is a community. And without you, there is no me, there is no us. And in this life, you will not be full of life until you decide to live life to its fullest. Curtis King of CurtisKingBeats.com.